So today I am making a video about what I'm doing for dinner. So my husband loves beef stroganoff and it's usually made with pasta, and I'm trying to stay away from pasta, trying to be gluten-free. So instead I'm going to use a spaghetti squash, and I know a lot of people have never heard of these before or they don't know how to cook them, so I'm going to show about that as well. So I'm doing a healthy twist on it. I'm doing what I do with a lot of recipes that my husband like, and I'm twisting them to make them healthy or to fit certain guidelines that I like to follow currently. So I've got some grass-fed, I threw the package away, it's beef flank, I don't know, beef flank steak, something. I don't know much about different cuts of beef. I'm really just a chicken or a turkey gal, but my husband loves beef, so I do sign up for ButcherBox. I like that. They're grass-fed animal products and meat that they send directly to your house, so I really like that. I signed up on a really good deal. So yeah, check it out if you're interested, unless you have a good source for clean grass-fed meat. So anyways, I got it's a flank iron steak, I think. So anyways, I'm going to get that marinating, and then I'm going to throw the spaghetti squash in the oven. And right now it's like after lunchtime, so I'm just prepping it for dinner since it's my day off, so I will be able to throw it together faster at dinner time. So I'm just going to cut it up into like large rectangles, I think is what I'm gonna do, and then throw it in there and pour the marinade on top. I remember what I was gonna say. Grass-fed beef it tastes different than corn-fed beef that you get from the store, but it's also, to me, it seems a little more tough, some of the cuts of meat, because they're fed what they're supposed to be fed, grass. So, and the same with chickens. Free-range chicken meat can be more tough because they have more muscle and less fat because they've been running around. So I find that marinating or doing like a buttermilk, soak in buttermilk for like a day with chicken helps a lot to soften it up and just relax the muscles. But for beef, usually my husband likes to marinate in rum or whiskey or something, but since I'm making this for my daughter to eat as well, I would rather not. I know the alcohol can cook out, but I don't want to marinate with that. So apple cider vinegar I really like as a meat marinade. It's really great. So I'm just pouring a bunch in there. That will kind of break down the meat a little bit. And olive oil. And then I'm just going to add seasonings. So I'm going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I know, I don't know about the ingredients. I use it sparingly here and there, so I'm not too worried about it. I know there is gluten-free, I believe, because it says natural flavorings, and I don't know what natural flavorings are. They can be a plethora of different things. That's one way that companies get away with putting natural flavorings on there, because it can be a bunch of different things. There also is sugar in this, so like I said, I'm just going to use probably about a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half. And then we're all about the liquid smoke, or my husband is, but again, not the greatest ingredients. Hydrolyzed soy protein, caramel color. Like, why do you gotta put color in it? So I'm just gonna use maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon of that, just a tiny bit. And then I have this lovely spice mix that I make. I believe I found it on Wellness Mama, her website. She has a bunch of different spice blends, and I love a lot of them. Maybe I'll make a video on when I need to refill it, but this is ranch. So I'm just taking a spoonful, probably a tablespoon, sprinkling it on there. And then I'm gonna add some salt and pepper. Salt and pepper here. Then I'm gonna put my airtight lid on. And just give it a little shake. To kind of coat everything easily. And then I'm gonna stick this in the fridge, and if I can remember, maybe every hour or maybe just once before I cook it, I'll just give it another swish around, flip it, but it looks pretty well coated. So I'm gonna stick that in the fridge. And now for the spaghetti squash. These are this is a small one, so it shouldn't be too hard for me to cut. But if you get a really big one, sometimes you can't really cut it. So then I just throw the whole thing in the oven and bake it for, I don't know, 20 minutes at 350. And then you take it out, let it cool, and then you can cut it a little more easily. So I'm gonna cut this in half as best I can. I don't usually get it cut in perfect half. It can be dangerous, so be careful. So usually this is how I have to do it. Should name this video, Watch Allison Struggle with Trying to Cut a Squash. Okay, so it's really in there. Oh man. There we go, okay. I'm gonna get some protection for my hands. So, got my trusty oven mitt on. But yeah, seriously, did not want to come out. Usually if my husband's around, I'll make him do this. But I'm an independent woman and I can do it on my own. That used to be my thing. I used to say, I'm an independent woman. I am. In a lot of ways, but I still need my man. Cool. Alright, so now what I do is I scrape out the inside, the seeds, and I give them to my chickens. You can save them, you rinse off all of this stuff, and then you just save the seeds. Oops. And then you can bake them in the oven with olive oil and seasonings as a nice snack if you want. Just scrape it out. And it can be hard to tell the difference, like this is the inside stuff. It's not the actual spaghetti squash. You can see it's here. And after this cooks, it softens up and you pick it out with a fork and it's just like spaghetti noodles. It's awesome. Not the same consistency, but it's a great alternative and it's delicious. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set it face down in my pan. You can get this other half cleaned up. Alright, so now I have them both in here. I'm going to pour maybe a half an inch of water to kind of help steam when they cook and throw it in the oven at 350. Alright. And I've been really great at burning things a lot, and I hate to burn things because it's such a waste to me. It's a waste of my time, my money. So I'm going to check this in 20 minutes and we'll see if it's ready. If it's not, I'll throw it in for another 10 minutes. These have been in the oven. I checked them after 20 minutes. They still weren't soft enough, so I put them in for about 25 more minutes. Maybe that was too long. So I recommend about 40 minutes at 350. So then I just use a fork here. And I flip it up like this because it it can be very hot. Except I've let this cool a bit. So then you just take a fork and you just shred it like this, and it starts to come apart. It's crazy. Isn't it crazy that this is just naturally like this? So anyway, so you just scrape it all with a fork. And I think 45 minutes was good. And then you just scrape it all along. Sorry, my daughter and her dad are playing Mario Kart, so you might hear them shouting in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud. So yeah, then you scrape it all out, and I'm gonna put it in a pan here. So. Okay, so now I'm just gonna add in some butter and some salt and just let that sit. That's all you need for spaghetti squash. It's delicious, plain. So just salt and butter. I mean plain salt and butter, only added. It's good plain too. So just gonna let that sit and melt together a little bit. And I've got my pan heated up. And I'm going to, I did flip these a couple times throughout the last couple hours. So, I'm just gonna, nice and hot. I only have it about medium heat though. I'm actually going to turn it up a little higher. Should wear an apron. It smells amazing. So I turned that up to almost all the way high, and I'm just going to let that brown up on each side. So while that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and chop up onions and garlic. So once I take that out, I'm going to throw that in and let them brown up. And I'm going to save my tops and bottoms of my onions, and I throw them in a gallon plastic freezer bag. And once I fill it up, then I make a batch of bone broth, and this is a great way to use these. I'm just going to throw them away. I'll save them and use them for bone broth. Starting to splatter at me. I think I'll do 1.5 onions. And those sound about ready, so I'm going to flip them all. I don't like flipping meat when it's splattering. I don't like to get burnt. So I took it off the heat. It won't splatter as much, but they're getting nice and brown around the edges. I don't know if you can see. Alright, they've calmed down a bit. And I don't want to cook them too much longer. So I'm just going to try to sear the other side a little bit. Turn this bad boy up again. All the way, and just gonna slice up the equivalent of 3 cloves of garlic. Okay, so that's nice and brown. Buddy. I'm just gonna take them out and put them in a bowl to set aside, because I want to use this pan. I want to use all this brown goodness on there. It's a lot of flavor. So we're gonna make the sauce broth in this pan. Okay, then I'm gonna turn it back to medium and pour in the onions and garlic. It's really good, and I'm not a huge fan of beef. It's really good. So I turned it up to medium high. So I'm gonna let these brown up and get soft for a few minutes. And then we will pour the broth and the mushrooms in. Again, I'm not using fresh mushrooms. I'm just going to use canned this time because I didn't have a chance to run to the store. And that's why I like keeping canned mushrooms on hand. Looks awesome. And once we pour the broth in, we're going to scrape all this off the bottom of the pan, and that will become part of the broth. Delicious. Okay, so the onions have cooked down. I'm going to turn the heat down. And I did not add any oil to the pan because I had the meat marinating in oil. So that in, add mushrooms. Should wear an apron. I'm just a messy cook. We'll do some salt and pepper. I'm going to cook that on high, bring it to a boil so it can reduce down a little bit. And technically you're supposed to use beef broth, but all I have is chicken broth right now. So you just kind of scrape the bottom to get all that goodness up. Okay, so I let that cook probably 15 minutes. Cook down a little bit. I'm gonna add back in the beef and the sour cream. I want a little more sauce, so I'm gonna add some more broth because I still do want this to thicken up and cook down a little bit more. I may add, I think I'll add some tapioca starch if it does not thicken up in time for dinner. So I'm just gonna leave this on low. Maybe medium, low medium, and let that cook down. I'm going to continue to let this cook down and thicken up a little bit. Like I said, if it's not quite as thick as I want, I'll add probably a teaspoon of tapioca flour to kind of help it thicken up. I'm gonna just serve it on the spaghetti squash, put that right on top of it, and dinner will be served. I will probably add some green beans. I'm probably gonna cook up some green beans while I wait for this, just to have a green side. So if you try it, let me know. I'll put the recipe of what I loosely followed in the description of the video. Thanks for watching.